that's why the enemy has destroyed every great leader that we produce, so that we will never be organized effectively as a people. That you are powerless because they don't want you to have power. And as a man, you can't function without power.
Hello brothers and sisters, I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you're watching me from now. Minister Farrakhan, the leader of the Nation of Islam, has been calling out the black community around the world to unite so that they can fight the neocolonialism, they can fight the social injustices that have been directed amongst them. Now, this is the time the black community should realize that the unity amongst us is so big that the Western system cannot bear. So let's watch this video, then have a really quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
Within 10 minutes, I called the God. Come on. Listen. I said, look at them.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And he looked. There was light in their faces.
Yes, sir. Yes.
I said, these aren't animals.
That's right.
These are human beings.
That's what they are.
That have been deprived of the light of knowledge.
Yes, sir.
That have been deprived of the light of knowledge.
Yes, sir.
You are not animals.
That's right. Yes, sir.
You are human and divine beings who have been deprived of the light of knowledge.
That's right.
And as long as nobody comes to you to bring you that kind of light, there will never be a change in your life.
That's right.
College will not give it to you. Listen, professor, I don't care how many degrees you got. No college degree transforms human life.
That's right. Yes, sir.
You got knowledge, but the effect of it is a knowledgeable Negro.
That's right.
A knowledgeable black man who does nothing productive.
That's right.
We don't need just that kind of knowledge. We need that kind of divine knowledge that brings about a transformation in human life. I'm almost finished, brother. The reason you're in this condition has nothing to do with you. The enemy wanted to reduce the black man to a powerless people who would perpetually be under his foot.
That's right.
You have become troublesome now because you don't want to be under his foot anymore, but don't know how to get your own foot out of your own way. So somebody has to help you. The scripture says, how can they know except they have a preacher? And how can they have a preacher except he be sent? Follow me now.
Yes, sir. Educated.
The thing that got you and me messed up is our powerlessness. No man can be a man without power. No man can exercise his authority as a man without power. No man in this world can have power and not have money. Right. If you don't have money in this world, you don't have power. Therefore, no man can be a man with just knowledge and no money. Knowledge must lead you to money. And then money will lead you to good homes and friendship. And money will enable you to do for yourself and your wife and your children what you know you should do as a man.
That's right.
But without money and without knowledge and without power, you become a madman. So I saw a black brother on television the other day. He had shot up somebody in a carjacking. And the white reporter was asking him, How did you feel?
Think about that.
He said, when I had the gun in my hand, I felt invincible. That's a heavy statement.
Yes, sir.
That gun gave him a sense of real power. He felt that if he went up to another man and said, give it up, that man would give it up. And then he could pump lead in him and watch him give up the most precious of all gifts, his life.
That's right.
I'm bad. I got power. I got a gun. Who gave you the gun? And what's more important, why did he give you the gun? When you know that the enemy has never wanted to see black men armed, why now are arms so prevalent in the black community? Let's talk. You don't have power, you want power. You don't have power, you want to access power.
Right.
So power then, to some, as Mao Zedong said, power grows out of the barrel of a gun. Wrong, Mao.
Come on, tell me.
Wrong.
That's right, wrong.
But since you don't know where real power comes from, somebody put a gun in your hand and you feel, damn.
Right, yes, sir.
I got power.
Yes.
Let me go try this out. Who you gonna try your power out on? See, you don't go into South Boston and try out your power. There's no drive-by shootings in South Boston or East Boston or Roslindale. Come on! There's no drive-by shooting in Newton. But there's drive-by shooting in Roxbury. Drive-by shooting in Dorchester. Why? Because you have never been trained to use your power against those who deprived you of it. You just trying out your power on your own neighbor, your own brother, your own family member. Who put the guns in your hand? You know you can't go to a gun store. Most of us in this room have been arrested for something. Is that right? So you can't go to a gun store. You can't go to the gun store and say, hey, I want a 45, I want an AK, I want a... They say, what's your name? Forget my name. They put that name in the computer. They say, you better get out of here. So most of the guns that you have are illegal weapons, which automatically gives the authority of the police, when they find you with an illegal weapon, a chance to put you away for 5 years.
That's right.
If they wish to. And if it's involved with a violent crime, you know how much more time is added to that. So here they got slave labor. They had your great-grandfather.
Right.
He working from Camp C morning to Camp C night. Some slave master tell him, get up.
That's right.
Lay down.
Come on.
What?
That's right.
Now you got somebody saying, all right.
Yes, sir. Yes, yes.
Roll call. By the numbers. You're a slave again.
Yes. Think about it.
A powerless slave again. Brothers, let me hasten because I don't want to keep you long. They put the gun in your hand to set up the black community for the bigger gun.
Yes. Right.
They want to give you a sense of power so you will terrorize your own community. It makes it very hard for me to teach black people to love one another when it's my brother who's breaking into my house, carjacking me, drive-by shooting, selling dope to my child, trying to put my daughter out on the block.
That's right.
You can't love people who do that to you. So hate is multiplying in the black community. Us against us. So the women are sick of it, burying their sons, burying their children. So they're crying out, can't you send the National Guard in? Don't you ever think that the police don't have firepower to deal with this. They not only have enough firepower to deal with this, they have the backup of the National Guard and the federal troops. So what is the black community being set up for? Look at the movie Boys in the Hood. The black brother who made it, he didn't make it for evil purposes. He made it to show the reality of life in the hood.
Yes, sir.
But that went all over the world.
Yes, that's right.
And people in foreign countries are saying, is this what's going on in America?
Think about that.
Then you came out with Menace to Society. You went to the movie, I saw it, but I'm going to tell you what I saw. I saw us being set up for a genocidal attack. I saw us with our craziness. We went in a Korean store, shot up the merchant,
Yes, sir.
and laughed at what we were doing. See, I pumped it, man. Then I saw that played out on television in real. It wasn't a movie now. A brother goes in a Korean store, jewelry, pistol whips a Korean woman, knock her down, take the jewelry. Then as he's leaving, he reaches over the counter and squeezes off rounds into him. This is going all over America, all over the world. You are being seen as an animal.
That's right.
You are being seen as a savage. You're being seen as a people unworthy of life. They're setting you up so that when the tanks come and roll through Roxbury, you and your little pea shooter, what you gonna do with your little Uzi? And an armored personnel carrier rolling down the streets, helicopter gunships above your head, pulling the plug on your gas and your electricity. You want to fight?
Go ahead.
You like blood?
Go ahead.
Well, maybe the enemy will give you so much of your blood, you'll understand why you need to stop the killing and learn how to love and respect yourself. Brothers, the movie was called Menace 2. Well, if you John the second, who's John the first? If we are Menace 2, who's Menace 1? Menace 1 is white men. who have dominated the planet and been a menace to the darker people of the world, raping, robbing, pillaging, killing. Wherever he has gone, menace one. Is he your example? Is he a man you want to pattern yourself after? Is he? I didn't hear you. A little louder. Why then do you call him the man? You didn't say he was a man. You said he is the man. When you use the definite article the, you make the man the example, the original, the thing that you model after.
Go ahead.
He is not the man for me. He's not the man for you. He's not your originator. So the one that should be the man to you, the model for you, the guide for you is he who created you. All right. I want to wrap this up. In the Bible, Moses and the first 5 books of the Bible are called the books of Moses. The Genesis means the birth of, the beginning. We now have come to our Genesis, our beginning. But what was it like, Moses, in the beginning? And why was Moses a liberator talking to his people about a Genesis and use these words? Listen. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And God, on the Spirit of God, moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, let there be light. And there was light. And he saw that the light was good. And he separated the light from the darkness. And one part he called day, and the other part he called night. I'm asking the question, why was Moses a liberator talking to the children of Israel about the Genesis or the beginning of creation?
Good question.
If you are at your Genesis, then a modern Moses has to come and talk to you like Moses talked to the children of Israel. Listen. In the beginning, God created heaven and earth. Look above you, brothers. The heavens above and the earth work as a team. If they don't work together, life doesn't come up out of the earth, because the heavens have to be lit in order for the heaven and the earth to work together.
Yes, sir.
But the scripture says God created the heavens and the earth, but the earth was without form and void. How many of you have ever seen a check that was voided?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing happening, non-negotiable. You can't use it. Now, God created the heavens and the earth, but the earth is without form and void. Do you know what gives form? It's motion. Motion.
Teach on that.
So if there's no form, there's no motion. If there's no motion, there's no light. Darkness was upon the face of the deep. What does it mean, brothers? God created heaven and earth. God created mind and body. The mind is the heaven of the body, and the body is the earth because it is made from the earth. Look at your skin. It's like any leaf of a tree with pores in it. Look at the pores.
That's right. Yes,
Look at the veins. And look at a leaf that has veins in it. The blood goes through the veins, giving life to this. And so does the sap and the energy go through the veins in the leaf to give it life. You're from the earth. The vegetation of the earth gives you your body. The stone of the earth gives you your bone. But the brain is the heaven of your body.
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
But the earth is without form. Look at you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You are without form, and you're void as a people. You're like a canceled check. Nobody cares about you. Nobody can use you. You're dead, voided. They don't know what to do with the black man.
You know it, sir.
They don't know what to do with you, brother. So they've decided, many of them, if we let these cats live, if they just keep multiplying,
Right.
by the year 2086, the demographers are saying that at our present birth rate and their present birth decline, we could be the majority population in less than 100 years. Do you know what that means? If blacks become the majority, Hispanics close behind, and there's any kind of alliance between the black and the Hispanics, then run, Jesse, run. Ain't no talk. You can run anybody you want to run and put them in and run the show, run the government, run the house, take over the house. White people see this. Want to see black people take over what they feel they've built, stolen, and work hard to maintain. So you're being set up for death and destruction. And to those who are watching by television, this is not some fanciful conspiracy theory of some neurotic person.
That's right.
We've seen your work in Africa. We've seen your work in Central and South America with the native population. We know that you decimate populations that you feel are in your way. We see what you did to the Native Americans when you sent blankets to them with smallpox in the blanket to kill men, women, and children. We know what they're capable of doing.
That's right.
So the only way, brothers, you can save your life is to show that you can be useful to yourself. That's right. And come up out of the condition that 400 years of slavery and injustice has put us in as a people.
Yes, sir.
Let's go back now. Avoid without form.
Hello, brothers and sisters. I really hope you're all doing fine from wherever you are watching me from. Now, it is yet another cold day that we are seeing here in the motherland, and we really thank for all that is happening right now. Now, I've been talking about the unity of the black community for a very long time, And sometimes we've been taking these topics for granted, but it is these topics that shape how we view things and how our history will be in the future. Now, Louis Farrakhan has never run short of saying whatever really matters to the black community. He has been saying the truth without fear, favor, or whatever someone else might think of him. Now, he has been doing this for the black community for a very long time. And I feel like this is the time we should actually embrace the teachings of Louis Farrakhan and those great, great leaders like Muhammad Khalid or Khalid Muhammad, and those of Martin Luther King and so many others. Now, we've had a problem in the black community, and the problem is we are much divided. However much we've had great leaders like Louis Farrakhan, we've had leaders who have come out to tell us how important the unity of the black community is. We've never taken that seriously. Now, this is the time we should consider actually coming together as the diaspora, as Africa, bridging the gap between ourselves so that we can realize whatever is good for our own selves. Now, brothers and sisters, it must be remembered that the children of Africa were taken from this land many years ago, and it has not been so much smooth on their side. They have had ups and downs, and when I say that, their downs have been so many. The atrocities that have been committed against them is so crazy. The social injustices that has been that has been done to them is so crazy. Now, the criminal justice system has not been fair on their side, and they have always not been treated equally as people of the human race. Now, we want the black community to take a moment and reflect whatever is happening to them and whatever has happened before. Are we really ready to do whatever it takes to see the unity of the black folks? Are we really ready to do it for our own selves? Are we ready to do it for the generations that are going to come? Now, our forefathers tried this back in Africa, in the Caribbean, and in the diaspora, but they did not manage to get us where they wanted. Now, they fought for the independence of Africa. Africa has never been delivered from the chains of colonialism. Now, we're still experiencing neocolonialism at the moment in Africa. The same is happening in the Caribbean, and those in the diaspora are facing serious social injustices and unfair criminal justice, that which does not act fairly, as the word justice means. Now, the justice system has always just been shaped there for the whole population to know that there is justice, but in some extents, there is no justice for the black folks. It must be remembered George Floyd, who went through the hands of a police officer. All that happened. Now, that was just a sample of whatever has been happening for very many years. It is just that did really catch the eyes of the people and the attention around the world. But so many other incidences like that, or worse than that, has been happening to the black community. For how long are we going to live this way? Are we ready to change? Are we ready to make sure that the generations that are going to come are not going to inherit the same problems as the ones we are facing right now in Africa, in the Caribbean, and in the diaspora? Is the diaspora community very ready to unite with the African community or with the African continent? Is the African continent ready to do the same? Is the Caribbean ready to do the same? So these are the things that we've been talking, and these are the things that people like Louis Farrakhan has been talking about for the whole of his life. Are we changing, or we did just take the teachings, listened, and that was it? There is a problem, and when I say there is a problem, brothers and sisters, the problem is so crazy, because if we continue this the same way, we are not going to achieve whatever we've wanted for a very long time. Now, black folks played a very big role in building Europe and the US. That is the truth. But whatever has been happening to them is so uncalled for, and the systems have always not supported them when they wanted the systems to do that, and the systems have been there to keep them in a stage where they're always lacking something, and they are so much desperate to work for the Western systems. The brainwashing that has been done to the black man is so crazy. Come to Africa, everyone wants to fly to Europe, everyone wants to go to the US. You ask yourself, Africa is the richest continent in the world. Why are people running away from Africa and thinking that there is a good dream, there is a good life outside Africa? This is whatever has been sold to you, and whatever was sold to my parents, and whatever was sold to my generation, that Africa is bad, that Africa, you cannot be rich, you cannot make it in Africa, that there are a lot of struggles in Africa, and you have to fly abroad to look for a better life. Now, you can still make it in Africa because the mineral resources that the Western countries use, to develop their countries come from Africa. The manpower they want come from Africa. So what if we could use the same mineral resources and the manpower we have in Africa to our advantage? If we play along with their tunes, then we are done. If we actually believe whatever their media tells us and whatever their media thinks of Africa, then we are doomed. It is us Africans, it is us the black folks who are going to liberate Africa, who are going to liberate ourselves. Who else is going to do that if we do not unite and actually come together as one people, Now, they might talk that we are people of the same race, right? And the race is humanity. But how do they treat us? And how have they treated Africa? How have they treated the Caribbean? How do they continue treating our brothers and sisters in the diaspora? That speaks a lot. Speaking and actions is two different things. I can say I'll do this, but if I don't do, that does not make me a good person because I talked about it. Now, I can say I love black people or I love white folks, but if I do not show the actions that speaks about the love, then it is nothing, And that's whatever has been sold to the black community, that they love Africa so much, that they want to keep Africa a democratic continent, that they want to keep Africa well developed and people enjoying the freedoms and trying to bring their armies in Africa. But when you look at it in a very big perspective, now you now see the other part of them, that they're trying to not lose control of Africa as a continent, that they're trying as much as they can to hold Africa back, that the mineral resources in Africa should not be used in Africa. Tell me why 90% of the mineral resources in Africa are being processed outside Africa, The gold in Africa is being processed in the UK and in the US, The petrol, the crude oil in Africa is sent abroad, then brought back as petroleum. Now, we must say no to these things. These are the very crazy things that people like Muammar Gaddafi stood against, And when someone of the caliber of Muammar Gaddafi comes out to say these things are not good, then they become an enemy to Africa and they become an enemy to the Western world, because they become an enemy to Africa because of the leaders we have in Africa. The people have been brainwashed in this continent. The people in the diaspora are also being brainwashed about how Africa is bad and about how Africa has deteriorated with their freedoms or human rights, or the constitution, whatever, democracy. Now, this is whatever they say to you, and this is whatever they do in Africa. When you come to most African countries, they have set their bases, they have built their bases in almost all countries in Africa. And they try as much as they can to destabilize the peace and tranquility in Africa so that they can send more of their armies in Africa. This is just to get control of the rich continent, the continent that has everything but lacks, the continent that lacks nothing but doesn't have everything, We have all the mineral resources. We don't lack anything in Africa. But we've been convinced that Africa cannot do alone, Yes, I believe that Africa cannot do alone. But if we could unite Africa, we bring the diaspora back, the Caribbean, then we can have a very big continent. The richest continent in Africa cannot be the poorest. The richest continent in Africa cannot have the poorest countries in Africa. Why do we still ask for their help? Why do we still need USAID in Africa? When Africa has everything, when you have petroleum in Nigeria, when you have gold in Burkina Faso, when you have diamond in South Africa, when you have coal in DRC, when you have a lot of diamond, and a lot of gold in DRC, what else do you need? What else do you need when your continent is so green that they are trying as much as they can to interfere with the ozone layer in Africa? What else do you need in Africa? You brothers and sisters, tell me. Everything that they make in the Western world can still be made here in Africa. It is just that we've been brainwashed to believe that Africa cannot achieve anything without the white systems. You bought it. Someone else bought it. At some time in my life, during 2017, 2016, when I was still in high school, I bought it. I did believe that Africa is bad and no one can actually improve the state of Africa. And then I took my time to learn about the history of Africa, where we've came from and where we are heading to. I've taken my time also to learn the history of the black folks around the world. I've taken my time to learn about the black American history. And I've taken my time to understand whatever the Caribbean has been going through. And now I understand that we sometimes are the problem. We are part of the problem because however much we are talking of kicking out the neocolonialism around us, kicking out the social injustices, we are not united. How are we going to achieve that in the division that we live in today in Africa, in the division that you live in the Caribbean, in the division that still exists among the black community in the diaspora? A lot must be done. And for us to achieve anything meaningful, we must change the way we think, and we must change the way we've been interacting as the black community. We must change the way the systems have set us to do some things, And the systems are always happy when we do things the way we were meant to do. Do not abide by the system's rules. We have so many flaws as the black community, but I believe if we come together, we can do a lot. Really, we can achieve a lot. Farrakhan has been calling out the black folks because we are not uniting. But I believe with this video, there is someone getting something, that it has always not been them. The problem still lies between us. The day that we start talking about the unity of the black folks is the day we will get the real liberation. Brothers and sisters, we can talk as much as we want, but if we are not willing to unite, if we are not willing to take actions, it is as much as dead from the inception of this idea. Thank you so much for having taken the time to watch this video. I really appreciate. If it's your first time on this channel, please consider subscribing, sharing, and commenting. So let me see you in our next episode. Thank you so much.